What's going on, guys? Seth and Chevy here. We just watched episode 7 of season 1 of Solo Leveling. We're going to be going full spoilers ahead, so hopefully you've watched this episode. We'll do a real quick recap. Now, there's a lot of little details that happen throughout this episode, but basically we start off with an investigation happening over what happened in the last episode with Jinwoo and the kid, I forgot his name, basically surviving and having defeated a boss in the dungeon and everybody else dying. There, seems to be something weird about that, obviously. So we have some people, one of the dudes who actually went and talked to Jinwoo early on to see if he was, I forgot what it was
Awakened.
called. Yeah. Well, was it called Awakened? It was like Reawakened or something like that.
Something like
There's some term to it, but they, kind of concluded that he wasn't that. So, yeah, that's happening. And then, I'm trying to remember the chain of events because I'm thinking of now Jinwoo ends up going and meeting with that kid from the last episode who basically, he's a rich kid. He wants to start a guild. He wants to be a guild master, but he can't until he's done 20 raids. Now he's done 1 because of the last episode. He wants to do 19 more. He wants Jinwoo to help him with that.
They also have to acquire an S rank.
Yeah. And Jinwoo's not really interested in that, though the kid offers basically 30 million? Do you remember the exact number?
I think it was billion, and I assume they're referring to yen, so I don't know what that means.
Sure.
But
Regardless, it's still 30 billion. He offers him that, and Jinwoo doesn't seem too interested, even though he walks off, and the kid kind of says something about if he does this, he would maintain his secret to the grave, and he gives him a intense eye after that. Then we get some scenes with Jinwoo and his sister hanging out. We find out that Jinwoo has, what was that, like a buff from drinking, when he's drinking the beer, it's like poison.
he got a regenerative buff from the
Double dungeon.
Yeah.
Yep. And then let's see. We get a scene with the brother of the dude from the last episode's dungeon, hearing about his brother dying. He essentially assumes it's Jinwoo and that kid, and he's asking about what's going to happen if he goes somewhere and kills somebody. He's basically in pursuit of them. Then we get a scene with Jinwoo and his sister jogging. He's noticing that his dailies, basically, he can go past them. Also, he's talking with the sister about, what would they do if he got 30 billion. They both think it's, kind of unrealistic to even think about, but obviously she doesn't know the details of what he's alluding to. And then he gets a key to an S-rank dungeon. He ends up entering it to kind of test himself because the last couple things he's gone against haven't really given him a whole lot of a challenge. So he's kind of curious about how much he can push himself. He enters the dungeon. He ends up fighting the first thing that he encounters, which is a Cerberus, and he's not doing a whole lot of damage to it. And it ends up starting to get some hits in, and it's taking a shitload of health from him. It's taking like a third of his health every hit. He is fighting this also under the strategy that he could just leave using his, I forgot what the stone's called, but he has that stone that can basically return him out of the dungeon. So that's what he's kind of banking on. He ends up healing during this fight. Because he's taking a shitload of damage, and then he starts taking even more damage. Things are looking kind of dire. He gets the stone that can return him out of the dungeon knocked out of his hand. Things are getting pretty bad, and he ends up gambling on and banking on drinking poison to basically get a buff that will allow him to take more damage, basically. And he ends up fighting the Cerberus, gets bit by it, but that allows him to get close to the face of it, stabs it a bunch of times, ends up defeating it, almost dying. I think he got to like 100 something HP left, and he wins. He levels up, he gets healed from that. Then he looks at the castle that he can go into next. He understands that that fight almost killed him, so surely the castle and the enemies inside would kill him. So he says he'll be back to continue that dungeon when he's ready. And yeah, thoughts?
I think it's also worth noting that the reward for the dungeon was a elixir of life, so he could save his mom's life.
And he needs 3 things for that.
He got the crafting template from the Cerberus, and the crafting mats are inside of the actual dungeon itself, as he finds out the Cerberus is just a door boss. So
Yeah. And there's, what, he needs 2 more things then for that? 3.
Three
Okay.
ingredients, yeah.
Okay.
And they're all inside the dungeon.
Yep.
According to the recipe. So.
He also got something else too. It looked like a belt or a ring or something.
He got the key to the second part of the dungeon. I know that part. But.
Oh, he got like 3 rewards. I didn't. It was like went so fast I couldn't even.
Oh
find
yeah,
what
there
it
were
was.
accessories. I didn't really
Yes.
pay attention to them, but
Yeah.
I'm sure if they're relevant, they'll come up.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean overall it's pretty good. It's nice to get some story building in the background, which I think the show definitely needed, and will continue to need, because I can only personally watch so much just going into the dungeon and kicking things' butts with no purpose. This episode had lots of purpose, so which was nice. Specifically, even him challenging himself due to the fact that he could save his mom, and so he just kind of was like, it's no brainer. I'm going to go do that, or risk it. Yeah. It was interesting to see also that he could not even, enjoy something like having a beer, because his body basically just like, nope, that is technically poison, and we're not going to let you have that.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
So
that ability was basically negating the poison, so he's just drinking beer for no reason.
Yep. So he's just drinking O'Doul's.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Also, learning a little more about the trust fund kid, basically, and how his dad owns a construction company, and he's trying to put together a guild to, basically take over what his brother, isn't doing, or to try to supersede his brother, in basically owning the company. Seeing the guys from the last episode's younger brother, and seeing that he's also a kind of a piece of shit, it seems like, so it must run in the family. Though I understand obviously the mentality of avenging your family. I get that for sure. But he had the same red eye thing going on, so I assume, unless it's just a way of showing murderous intent, which could be as well. So
Yeah, just like anytime Jinwoo's gonna do something powerful, his eyes always glow blue.
because his murderous intent buff.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Let's see. I don't know if I have a whole lot more to add to it. It was a pretty straightforward episode. The fight itself was fun. It was done pretty well. There was a lot of moments where obviously there was a bunch of smoke, and then the Cerberus would just emerge from it. But that's not a big deal. For the most part, it had a lot of good action shots. So
the way when he went flying and rolled towards the screen after he beat the Cerberus, the animation on that was really good, which was weird. I was like, man, that was super smooth looking. Other parts were done well too, but a lot of it was flashes and things happening quick. But just that one scene, I was like, that was done pretty good.
yeah, I think they handled it pretty well for how they did it, because they definitely were mostly just focusing on the big moments of the fight, and not the whole fight necessarily.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I do think it was done pretty good. Yeah, and it was also interesting to see him fight something that actually challenged him, which was nice. I kind of needed that.
Yeah.
Him losing an arm and getting holes, put him in, stuff like that. Not that I'm necessarily looking for gore porn or torture porn, but there needs to be stakes. Otherwise, what's the point? So,
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I mean, it was an enjoyable episode, and I think it actually added some stepping stones towards things to come, which I appreciate.
So that's my biggest takeaway of this episode. It was an entertaining episode. I liked a lot of the little details, but the biggest thing is we got set up, and we got set up for 4 different arcs, which is kind of interesting. So in my opinion, it seems like we have people who are going to start investigating him, that's a whole new story arc that's going to happen that'll make things more interesting, hopefully. And then we got an objective for him with his mom. There's a way he can see to fix her, and so there's now an objective that he's going to work towards, which I think is good. Now we have also another arc or another story happening where there's somebody who's going to potentially be coming after him. Not only is there an investigation that's going to be about him, but there's somebody who's looking to basically kill him. So that gives him some kind of villain that he's going to have to fight. And then, oh God, what was the fourth one? The kid and the raid and the guildmaster whole thing. I don't think it's going to go away. So the episode, even though it was just like a lot of different random things happening and then a big fight at the end, testing himself, which was good to see him actually take damage and know that he's not infallible now. This episode was super promising in the sense that at least one of those 4 story elements are going to manifest into something. So it's promising in the sense that we know this is going to go somewhere more than just he's going to go another dungeon run and we'll see what the party's like. And yeah, he's going to level up, get more powerful, which is fun. But yeah, we need something to chew on. There needs to be a story more than, he needs to save up money and he's powerful, which I do like. It's fun. You kind of covered that as well. But yeah, just needs something to happen. So I like that, at the very least, there's some dude who's going to be coming after him. So that'll give him some kind of person he's going to have to fight, I'm sure. Hopefully that guy's strong, because otherwise he's just walking into a lawnmower. Because Jinwoo so far is not challenged. So except for with by that Cerberus, and I don't think this dude's a Cerberus, but we'll find out, I guess. And yeah, him having an objective basically to save his mom, driving him to do these harder dungeons, I think is an interesting thing that we'll see where it goes. So, but I don't think it's going to be a quick and easy thing to obtain. So otherwise, the show's not going to last. So, yeah, overall, it's a cool episode. The whole poison thing was interesting as well, giving us a little insight on, I guess, some of the more IRL negatives of being that powerful is you can't enjoy alcohol anymore. So that's interesting. But yeah, cool episode. Definitely looking forward to seeing where the story starts to go now that we have got the ball rolling. So yeah. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. Let us know in the comments what you guys think of this episode. What were your biggest takeaways? Was there something that happened in the episode that we didn't really touch on a whole lot that you'd like to discuss further? What did you think of the fight with the Cerberus? We think about all the different elements that are introducing themselves into the story. And where do you think things are going from here? Unless you know, then please do not spoil that for us. It would be very much appreciated, as we want to go into this as blind as possible. And yeah. I think it's everything. So I've been Seth, this has been Chevy, and until the next review, we will talk to you guys later.